find it there. So there is such thing as designated authority. We respect authority, but only trust God. I'm not saying trust every authority. Your man may not be the best leader. Your parents may have lost their mind. Your employer may be crooked all day long. Even in a church environment, sometimes you got folks when you're trying to do right. I'm identifying what the Bible suggests. Trust God, but follow the authority that God has set. That's why it's just me and the Lord. You're just lying. You can't be no you and the Lord. That idea does not even exist inside of Scripture. The first thing that Jesus said is, I will build my church. What's a church? Well, I'm going to build a church in the corner of 35th Carolina. This ain't no church. It's a building we meet in. The church are the people who belong to God. The word suggests the idea of a communal relationship, and you can't get to heaven all by yourself. That's why the Bible in 1 John declares the fact. 1 John said, how can you claim to love a God you've never seen and can't stand believers that you see every day? I can stand them, I just avoid them. Maybe if you avoid them, you can't stand them, so what you understand? We understand. You don't hang around folk you don't like. God bless you. Designated authority is given by God. And every member of the family of God is called to function in a way when you show your respect and your love for Almighty God. So God established the concept of home. God established the concept of the church. And God established the concept of government. Of the government. Romans 12. He's already shared how to serve others, verse 3 to verse 8. And then verse 9 to 13, he talks about love without hypocrisy. And then he identified how to treat your enemies, chapter 12, verse 14 to 21. And then in chapter 13, he talks about how you relate to the government. Now, I want you to understand when you saw in the building, he wants to see the power and the value that God has established in the sense of order. We have a dual citizenship. This is what Paul says in chapter 1 and verse number 7. To all in Rome, that's here, who are loved by God and called to be his holy people. In Philippians, he says to those who are in Philippi and with a citizenship in heaven. We have a dual citizenship. And to be honest with you, most times we talk to believers about their citizenship in heaven. We typically talk about how we're to love the Lord and trust the Lord and how we're to worship, how every child of God should function inside the family of God. But I want you to realize we don't often enough discuss our responsibility and our accountability as citizens inside this world. I live on this earth. I'm a member of the family of God. I'm a citizen of earth and of heaven at the same time. Matter of fact, that's why you have this torn sense inside your life, because you are still on the earth and connected to heaven at the same time. I'm connected with God. I'm called to live in a connection with the Lord at the same time. I'm called to function here on side of this earth. But some of us are so heavenly minded, earthly good. God can't use you here because your mind's in all the wrong places. And so understand, citizens of earth and heaven. We are citizens. We're in earth, or in Indianapolis, with a connection in heaven at the same time. It's a dual citizenship. And because of that, the child of God has to learn how to maneuver through both places. I'm actually being here. I live here. I am an ambassador for Christ. Because this is not my home. I'm just a passing through. My treasure laid up somewhere beyond the blue, right? So the idea is that as a child of God, we are citizens of earth. But there's certain expectations Paul talks about that we have. There's certain things you're supposed to do as a citizen of earth inside this text. And every child of God should seek a chance to do what God has called to speak. Are they right? Well, I know the call of Black Lives Matter. I know that the system has flaws. Nothing that man has involved in does not have flaws. I would declare with anybody that there are a lot of things about the American system of justice. You watch the thing on Netflix called 13, which talks about the 13th Amendment, which actually it okays the idea, although slavery was erased, it okays the idea of slavery being back, and that many forms of enjailment, that if you're poor and you get arrested for a crime that you didn't even commit. If you don't have the money to get yourself out of jail, you can find yourself locked up in prison for a long locked up, incarcerated for a long time just to have a court case to get you free. There's an economic system involved that definitely is evil at its core. I don't deny the reality that a lot of stuff goes wrong inside this country. Matter of fact, before Rodney King videotaping, folks just got beat for nothing. Now you can record it every time something goes crazy. It's not that things are getting worse. We just can see more what's been happening for years and years and years. I'm not trying to suggest the system is perfect and everything's all right with it. But I am saying God's call to us is not based on a system being perfect. The biblical idea here about this sense is the sense that not denying the system, but we challenge the system, we challenge things wrong in the system, and that's called voting in this country. You don't like it, and you didn't vote, hush your mouth. Don't make no kind of crazy say, I need to or I can't stand it. And the Democrats go crazy, the Republicans go crazy, then vote independent, vote somebody. Be engaged, be involved in the system. God suggests the idea that He is the one who created the idea of order. And order exists in political systems, even ones that's messed up. But the idea of authority and the idea of power and the idea of structure was set by God. And so the Bible talks about this idea inside the text. So that's why you vote. However, there's something honorable in serving in the military. There's something honorable by deciding. We often give the impression, man, you gonna throw me over there somewhere. I would pray to throw you somewhere over there. But the point is the idea that there's something honorable about being willing to serve in the country that you live in. In the Bible, in the Old Testament days, if you're part of the family structure, you're part of the people of God, you are going to be called to serve. And when you're called to serve, you're not really asked where you want to serve. You want to go to Afghanistan? Iran? Would you like to go spend your time in guarding in Hawaii? I'm going to Hawaii. You have the option of guarding Hawaii. When you decide to accept the reality of the system, I encourage you to understand there's nothing wrong with a person committing to serve inside the military. There's something honorable about the decision to do something that looks out for the country that you live in. And I will agree that sometimes there are unhonorable decisions you made at the top that put people in situations they should not be in. But it does not excuse the fact that our responsibility is to respect the government that you live under. And as messed up as this one is, I can declare to you, they got a whole lot of worse ones out there right now. If you've never been to a third world country where you see the rich getting richer, living well, living lovely, and poor people who got to look in garbage cans for a sandwich or a piece of bread to eat, you don't realize how blessed you are. You can find food in the garbage can in America. You can't find it in some other country. I'm not advocating the idea that we'll look in the garbage can for some food. I'm just saying the fact that as messed up as our system is, we're actually in a better shape than a lot of places inside the world that you live in. So here Paul gives instruction inside that text. Here's his instruction. First of all, he said, now if you're going to be a good citizen, first of all, tell somebody, pay your bills. Pay your bills. If you're going to be a good citizen, you need to pay your bills. Pay your debt. I thank Sister Collins and Sister Crystal for working with our program to work people out of their debt. Bishop Brother John Hicks willingness to say we need to teach you how to invest your finances. The reason you're always in debt is because you make bad financial decisions. If I file bankruptcy, I ain't got to pay my debt. I've only done it twice before. The world you're living in allows you ways to get out of situations. I'm advocating the idea, own up to what you've done. This world's not your home. Learn to manage what you have. Learn to make healthy, good financial decisions. Learn to make financial, good, healthy decisions. There's some choices one good to make. If you've always been broke, making more money may not be the answer. Maybe it's how you manage the quarter you got. And not the idea, if I made more money, I'd have more money. God bless you. I would call it this importance of learning how to manage. Sometimes you got to learn the value of walking a quarter before you can walk. Learn the value of managing what God's allowed you to have right now. Maybe you don't need a new car. Maybe you need a Hubbard. Maybe you need a bicycle. You lose weight and get what you got to go at the same time. All we're saying is that you have to sometimes spend time to sit down and figure out where are the finances going. I don't know how many members of the Thomas Williams have sat down with us and said, let me help you learn to get your finance in order. And Thomas will be straight with you. He'll sit down with you and say, let's look at the situation. He's definitely a person you can trust. He's accountant. He knows his business. He'll sit down with you and say, let's look at your situation. Here's what you got to do to put this together. I can't go out to eat 3-4 times a week. No, take a lunch to work. It ain't worth $5. Yeah, but that's 5 days a week. That's $25 a week. That's $100 a month. You ain't got $100. I just got all I know. I just got to go to the store. I've been working. I worked the whole month, and I checked the other day. I got a notice from the bank that this credit card has got $25 left open. I'm gonna go and take those $25 and have a good time with my $25. Say that ain't your money. That $25 will be paying for that for 10 years. Because if you don't change how you handle your finances, you'll stay where you are. Paul tells the church, he said, learn the value of paying your bills. Learn to live on what you're making. You know, there are cars that's new to you. They're not new, but they're new to you. Get you a new to you car. When you can afford. I advocate, as a matter of fact, I advocate the idea of buying a car you can pay for. Your money is tight, buy one you can afford to buy. Which means one that requires no notes. I tell folks all the time, okay, well, I look at my money, I need to buy a car, and I think I can pay $350 a month. I can pay $350, and really ain't that much, like $100. They ask you go more, or $75 a week. I can't afford $300 a month, but I can afford $75 a week. You can't afford $300 a month, but you can afford $75 a week. That's more than $300 a month, because some months got more than 4 weeks. Matter of fact, I tell people all the time, if you're going to buy a vehicle, if you can afford a car note, then you should be able to set that money aside right now. If you can't save $75 a week right now, having the car is not going to automatically make the money magical and able to be set aside because you got the car now. Because they have additional thing called insurance, which goes up with the purchase of the car. And if you don't have it right now, you're not going to have it later. So Paul said, as you live as a citizen inside this earth, as you function as a citizen here, learn the value of paying your bills. Because I'm a citizen of heaven, because I represent God in what I do. Learn the value of managing your finances right. He established the fact every child of God should seek to pay off their expenses. And the average person can actually, am I right about it, be out of debt in 2 to 3 years. It requires this magical thing called discipline. You'd be surprised, as I said before, you'd be surprised how much peanut butter and jelly sandwich will solve your hunger. You don't really have to go to the restaurant today. I give to the Lord, but you know, we got to eat today. God is not going to bless you with more until you learn how to respect and value what He gave you. I'm establishing for you. The first thing Paul established is the importance of a child of God. Pay your bills. Then he said, pay your bills, and it is pay your taxes. He says taxes, and then he gives a word for the idea of commerce, which is the idea of the tax on the things that you purchase. But his point is the idea that listen, as a child of God, we long for somebody who pays your debt, and we long for somebody who actually pays your taxes. You don't have IRS, every time you get a phone call, you worry a little bit. You look at the minute, your name ain't Wesley Snipes. You want to get in trouble every time. You show it no Trump, so you may get away without paying your taxes. But bear in mind, he had to lose $1.3 billion in money to not pay taxes. You ain't never had that kind of money. Then he says thirdly, he says show respect. The child of God references and respects the world we live in. I'm a citizen of heaven, but I'm a function here with the concept of respect for people that I deal with. I'm riding out on here's the popo. Pull me over. And he's a good one. He's pull me over here. He's sucking the popo. Every time I ride out, they pull it. What you want now? God bless you. Respect the authorities around. It's sad because some of y'all, I ain't never seen y'all. I've seen y'all go to the store, and the store you get an attitude with somebody, you have to count, maybe you have to count this money, or even the waitress of the cashier person got a nasty attitude, you go Walmart line, you go on the front line, is that all you got? What do you think you're talking to? God calls us to show the right spirit. Amen. I don't care if it's the police that pulls you over. I don't care if you're in a line at the grocery store. People are watching you. You manifest the Spirit of Christ everywhere you go. And God bless you. It should never be the case. You pull in the parking lot of the church, good. That's somebody car gets fast. Nah, I've been a member of this church. That's my seat. And that's my parking place. And you ain't going with no kind of attitude. God bless you. And every child of God, when people come here, they should feel that you value and respect every soul. This morning, I had a young lady showed up. And she talked to Sheila. And she said that her father was a Tupac. She's barefoot. And she said, my dad is Tupac, and my family line, about my background, my history, churches of money, people are all over, I'm just trying to discover my real identity. So she just said, well, are you other brother? I said, yes. She said, I got somebody I need to talk to for 10 minutes. So she was brought us to my office, and so I sat her down for a few minutes and said, so what's going on with you? She began to cry. She talked about how she'd been told a lot about her identity, and she talked to her dad, and people tried to hurt her, and she'd been raped, and she just began to go through this series of things. I think she has some battle with schizophrenia. I know she's been living homeless for the last few weeks up and down the street. She's barefoot. She walking, you can tell. She can tell she's not in stability. So how are we supposed to deal with somebody like that? It's like your mind ain't together. Get up out of here. You don't come over here like that. Your mind ain't got no shoes up. Look at you again. You're raggedy. Get up out of here. You're dirty. Get out of here. No. Do not forget. Just because God has let you get where you are. Every soul is precious in the eyes of the Lord. I don't care how how messed up somebody's mind is. But they're on drugs and they high and they can't walk straight. Every soul has value. Just first of all, thank God that ain't you right now. And then be aware that we represent someone else. I don't care what they look like walking around. You don't understand what God sees in that person. And maybe we won't be successful in giving them minds. Maybe they'll always have a dilemma, but they should know that when they need somebody who knows the Lord, we don't act like the world act and discount folk because they got issues. And so before she left the office, I prayed with her. She began to cry some more. So if you want to come back and sit and talk this week, I'll talk with you, but we need to connect with your family and find out the help that you really need. But the point is the idea, every soul has value. And every member of God's family should not get to the place that you discount people. We're in India last year, and the church had a service in Dubai, worship service that Sunday afternoon, and a lady walked up, and apparently she was barefooted. She had on a traditional clothing, but you could tell her mind wasn't all right. And we saw as we often do in a church environment, she came up on the congregation, get ready to meet the service. They were like, won't you just go off somewhere? Just go. We like to have service here. Just go. How many folk have got that impression from me? When I stand in the presence of God, what I don't want to happen is the Lord to say, hey, Hubbard, there's a couple of incidents. And you thought you all that. Lord, I would never. Lord, no, not me, Lord. No, not me now. No. Look, my dad would say, he will play the tape for you. Is that you? Well, yeah, that's me. Is that what you were thinking? Are you sure I was thinking that? What? Yeah, I knew you right. I was thinking that. I was thinking that. Is that how you acted? Well, I just thought they had no value. They were made as my image. You may feel more value for you. They got value for me. And so when hungry folk come here, and they smell, they look dirty. Good. Don't forget, some have entertained angels on earth. Show respect to everybody. In the context here, show respect for those in authority, but also biblical idea, show respect for everyone. And even let me add, give honor to people. Those who serve in the military, give their honor. Thank you, because you put your life on the line. Maybe you didn't find yourself in a position where you got shot at. Maybe it was a paper clip number, but maybe you didn't find yourself, but you opened the door for danger. And for those who work, whether in our fire department, our police department, those who serve our community, show respect and show honor. Not because folks are always right, but because you understand God ordained the structure of government. And because I respect for him, we respect the system he put in place. Well, consider these ideas when we close out our time. First of all, think about this. The Bible fits man for life and prepares him for death. God is trying to get you ready for something beyond yourself. Then secondly, I want you to consider this obvious. Whatever makes men good Christians makes them good citizens. If you're a good Christian, you're a good citizen. You function in a world that does not know God. And many times on your job, in the community, and sometimes it amazes me, I see believers fighting people over property. Park your car across the line of our apartment complex. That's my apartment complex. I'm going to cut your tires. I'm going to break out them windows. Don't y'all get there. I've seen people kill each other over a piece of land that they have no control of. don't forget the value of a citizenship. And they can just consider this as well for consideration. Pride. Make no mistake about it. Pride is the great sin, is the devil's most effective and destructive tool. Because it makes you think that you're more than what you are. And what happens is somehow inside your power, the moment you realize that whatever takes place inside your life is because God has just been that good to you. Don't be prideful. And when a Christian realizes that citizenship is in heaven, he begins acting like a responsible citizen on earth. You learn to function here in this world, and you're sojourning here to the point that even people that don't like you can say good stuff about you when you leave. I couldn't stand them. But they were real. They were real Christian. And in case you don't know about it, people in the world who know you call yourself a child of God will put you to the test. They will gossip about somebody else to you and see if you carry it. They will talk about you behind your back and see how you act. They will get behind you and cutthroat you on the job. They're trying to get you fired. They do whatever they can to frustrate you. And that's why the child of God has got to realize you're always in a position where the world is watching you to see, are you real for Jesus? If you're real for the Lord, no matter what happens and how folk act, you act like you're always obedient to the God who runs your life. And you won't get caught up with all the dumb stuff the world you're living in tries to confuse you with. And then consider we are an alien inside this world. This world is not your home. Stop trying to live like it. Last but not least, live on earth like you're a citizen of heaven. If you can do that, God can bless you. He can give you some power. He can put you to a place where great things can happen. But you got to learn the value of realizing that as a citizen inside this country, you need to act like you love the Lord. And it doesn't matter how crazy the news is. The sad thing, we got to pray. The Bible tells us in 1 Timothy chapter 2 to pray for the government. You got to pray for the president. Amen. Pray for the Senate. Pray for the Congress. Pray for the judges, pray for the church, pray for your family, pray for your cousin, pray for your house, pray for your animals, pray for everything. Because you understand it's by trusting God. Sometimes God lets crazy things happen to get you back on your knees. Church, we're citizens of this world. Act like you believe in the order, the designated order and the delegated order that God has put in place. You'll never be a great general unless you learn the value of your private. You'll never be a great leader in God's family if you can't follow nobody's instructions. God can't use you if you think you're going to show up by yourself. That's a sign of pride that's messing your mind up already. For those who serve, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate the sacrifice, the time, and energy that you gave, and thank God for protecting you and bringing you. If you lost somebody that you love in the military, we keep it in our prayers, because for those who've gone overseas and lost their lives, bodies been transported back, it's a difficult place to be. And if you know folks who've been through that, call them up today. So I want to thank you for the sacrifice of your family, because somebody took a place that I could have been in. But I'm going to challenge us to be aware the system that God has put in place is to our benefit. And learn the value of respecting the system, and then learn how to change it by the order we've allowed to use. God created order, He respected order, and He trusted it. I don't know what battle you might be facing or challenge, but I know that God is watching here for this time to mold you, to empower you, to keep you for His purpose. You're here this morning. If you're not a part of the family of God, this is what God has done to you. First of all, God's part in sending His Son. John 3:16, Jesus shed His blood, Ephesians 1 verse 7, and the Spirit revealed the Word, John 16:13. The Holy Spirit revealed the Word so we can have access to the Word of God to understand the expectations that God has of His children. If you're part of the family of God, act like you're in a family. I don't know about you. My daddy told me years ago, I know yours told you the same thing. You know, you better act like you're a husband. Go out there, he said, right? He said, you go out there and shame my name. Don't you know we shame our Father's name? I don't care how crazy the world acts. Anytime you function like the world, you shame your father's name. But he added you to his, he adopted you into the family of God. And I would agree. Sometimes we got folk in the church who are doing your last nerve will frustrate you and make you want to run out the building. Run out. Pray and run back in. Because don't let nobody or nothing stop you from the mission God has called you to. You heard the gospel. Believe that Jesus, the Son of the living God. Have a change of mind that says no to sin, yes to God, no to my way, yes to God, you call it repentance, and confess that belief. We're baptized right now into Christ for forgiveness of your sins. In that baptism, it doesn't matter what you were like, no matter what you liked before, no matter how you liked was before, you die to that. You come alive to become whatever God says he wants you to be. You now belong to the living, infinite, powerful, majestic God who understands and knows and sees all things and has brought you here to make you great in the world that you're living in. And whatever you do, don't get stuck following the foolishness of people around you who don't even know God. Yes. As I close, I remind the story of a fan of a flight of planes in the sky, and they had engine trouble about a small commuter plane. Only about 4 people on the plane outside the pilot. So the pilot runs back to the back. He said, "Listen, y'all, I'm sorry, but it looks like the plane's going down, and I don't know. We got rocks ahead. I don't know what we're gonna do. So I'm sorry. Hey, but there are 4 of y'all left, and there were 3 parachutes here. I'm sorry." He grabs his parachute and jumps outside. They look at each other. One guy's actually a well-known attorney. One's a physician. One guy said, "I'm a doctor. I'm a physician. I got patients. I got to take care of. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take this." He jumps off. Left on the plane with an attorney and a preacher and a little boy. And so the attorney said, "Listen, I'm the smartest attorney in the world. I've got the best money. I'm a rich man. I'm the one who represents a lot of great clients. My clients will need me. There's money to be made." He throws on a parachute and jumps off. The preacher looks at the little boy and said, "Well, son, listen, I trust the Lord. I'm ready to die. If that's what happens, I'll take what happens." He said, "So you take this last parachute, son, and jump off." The boy said, "No, sir, there's 2 parachutes left." He said, "I thought there was only one left." He said, "No, sir, there's 2 parachutes left." He said, "Because the richest man, the smartest and richest man in the world jumped up in my backpack." So God has blessed you. If you're not a Christian, I invite you to come. Right now, we'll assist you to be added to the family of God. You've heard the gospel, believe it, have a change of mind, admit your belief, and baptize you right now. If you're here and part of God's family, somehow all the world stuff around you got you so caught up. You ain't paying your bills, you're not managing your bills, you ain't paying your taxes, you don't respect anybody, you don't honor anybody, you don't honor anything. There's something wrong with that picture. You're not what God has called you to be in his family. You have to respect and value and become what he's called you to be. And if you need assistance in that process, I invite you to come even right now as we stand and sing. I invite you to come.
Sing, I know, Lord, he's so sweet. I know, and you know that those strong crocodiles may rise. Oh, and strong winds may blow. Oh, Lord, but I'll tell the world. Oh, wherever I go, I'll tell them that I have found a Savior. Oh, and they will. But you know that I'll tell wherever I hope somebody out there will tell them that I am Savior. He's so sweet. He's so sweet. I know.
Or has that your life been upbringing? We are almost 6 months into another year. God's been good. He gave me this much time. But also at the same time, He's lost a half a year almost. What things have you planted your life into? What components have you functioned that you can declare, if I stood before the Lord now, I'm ready to stand as a child of God. It might be the case if you're aware that you're not where you need to be. The time is right to come. The Lord, He loves you so much to forgive you no matter what's gotten wrong. But He calls you to function as an intricate part of His body because you don't realize whose soul lays in the vacuum who needs you to be that example God wants you to be. I challenge you even right now to set your connection with the Lord. If you raise your hand, I'll walk with you. If you know that you need prayer, I encourage you to come. We'll pray with you, and God does answer prayer. Whatever your battle might be at this time, at the world that you're living in, it might be the case even right now that you are anticipating the goodness of God. You realize that maybe I'm not functioning as a true citizen of heaven like I've been called to be. He loves you so much. He'll forgive you and accept you back and encourage you to just take the steps He wants you to take. Would you trust Him right now? If you raise your hand, I'll walk with you. Somebody next to you, they can walk with you. But this is your opportunity to become changed and beholden for the purpose that God has left you here. He wants you to come and wants to look bless you again, even right now. As we continue to sing, I invite you to come. Want you to come.
Lift my hands and say that I have found a sweet Savior. He's so sweet. Oh, I'll tell them that I have found a Savior, and He's so, yeah. I have found a Savior, Lord, and I'm not ashamed to say about Him. He's so sweet. One more time, I have found Him, and I have found the Savior, and He's so sweet. I know.
Has God been good to you? He really has. Every time I'm in the church, I see the devil in my eyes. Every time I turn the news, every time for a day or two come back, someone got shot, someone got stabbed. I mean, that's Sister I'll miss you, but you back up. Her uncle stabbed. The man who died of a light, that cut him in half. Curry, I think her uncle or a relative or family was in a fight the other day. He died in a fight in the bottle. He died. He died. So uncle, a relative, he died. And this past week, 50-some years old, in a conflict. He's don't know. Now, I would pray God gives you more than ample time. I'm aware of the brevity of life. And folk who were with us just 3 weeks ago aren't with us right now. Who knows where you be next? I'll be next. You don't know. Make your calling and election sure. Because we're sitting, we're not standing, we're not singing, does not mean that you cannot come. Nothing more important than making certain your walk with the Lord is all that it is with you. Amen? Thank you for your patience as we sit together. We take Romans 13 on with you so much more inside this text examination. Verse 8 is so powerful as Paul continues the idea of how owe no man nothing but to love him. Owe man nothing but to show your love for people. What a great gift you have, because God showed his love for us. We're called to manifest that same spirit to people, and people ain't easy to love. Amen. But he doesn't tell you to do it because it's easy. He tells you to do it because you're made as his image. I think your patience with that something specific or you're closer, and as always, I want to commend you to and to the words of his grace, which are able to build you up and give an inheritance among all of us who are sanctified. And as I take my seat and invite you once more, look at somebody next to you and tell them, live like a citizen of heaven. May God bless you.
Live like a citizen of heaven.